The subtle body pervades the waking and dream states. The causal body pervades the waking, dream and deep sleep states. But Atman Brahman pervades these three states and exists beyond in its pure pristine form. Therefore, it is Vibhum, all-pervading. Then he quotes certain sages, great sages. Narada was a great sage, but he was a mischievous sage. Asita and Devala were highly accomplished rishis. Vyasa, the son of Parashara, the father was a great sage and the mother was a fisherwoman. So he had the combination of the practicality of the fisherwoman, the business sense of the fisherwoman, and the wisdom of the sage. And that is what gave him this boundless wisdom. What all things he did, it is difficult to believe that one person could do it. He compiled the Vedas, and that therefore is called Veda Vyasa, and he is revered as the first guru. He wrote the Brahma Sutras, the 18 Puranas, the subsidiary Puranas. He wrote the Mahabharata, which consists of 1 lakh verses, and it's incredible what he said. He says, all these great sages have paid tribute to you. To you means Atman. And you also say, means Krishna also says. Next verse.
Sarvametadrutam manye yanmam vadasi Keshava nahi te bhagavan vyaktim vidurdevanadhanavaha sarvametadrutam manye yanmam vadasi Keshava nahi te bhagavan vyaktim vidurdevanadhanavaha.
I consider all this that you say to me as true, O Keshava. O blessed Lord, neither the Devas nor the Danavas comprehend your manifestation. He addresses Krishna as Keshava, the killer of the demon Keshi, a dynamic person, a powerful person, a strong person, not a passive weakling. And he also calls him Bhagavan. Bhagavan means one who is possessed of 6 qualities of Bhaga's virtues, which are Aishwarya, not Aishwarya Rai, please. Glory, Dharma, virtue, Yasha, fame, Shri, prosperity, Jnana, wisdom, and Vairagya, dispassion. So Krishna was an embodiment of all these. And then he says, neither the Devas nor the Danavas know you. For a Bhakta, it means you are above ordinary people who belong to positive or negative. For the intellectual, it means introverts or extroverts. Whatever it is, he is actually repeating what Krishna said in verse 2. He is not speaking from his wisdom. 15.
Svayamevatmanatmanam Vedhatvam Purushottama Bhutavavana Bhutesha Deva Deva Jagatpate Svayamevatmanatmanam Vedhatvam Purushottama Bhutavavana Bhutesha Deva Deva Jagatpate.
You yourself know yourself by yourself, O Purushottama, best among humans, O origin of beings, O Lord of beings, O God of gods, O Lord of the world. So Atman is self-effulgent. Then he uses certain words. Bhuta Bhavana, origin of beings, means out of it everything came into being. Bhutesha, Lord of beings. Just as electricity is the Lord of all electrical gadgets, fuel is the Lord of all cars, Atman is the Lord, means that which enables all beings to function. Deva Deva, God of gods. Deva literally means illuminator. is the illuminator of all the senses, as we've seen earlier, that which enables all your senses to function. Jagatpate, Lord of the world, is the lawgiver. It's that entity which has placed all the laws in the world, physical laws, the law of gravity, biological laws, so on and so forth. Now, this brings us to the end of this session. The take-home points are, first, we started with the importance of discipline, means the senses and mind control, how we need to develop the intellect, because in order to have discipline or control, the intellect is all important. Then we spoke of the spiritual sadhana, karma yoga, bhakti yoga and jnana yoga, and how we need to change our focus to the higher. And the last we looked at is open-eyed meditation, how we become meditative and get to the state of enlightenment. Now, yesterday, this question was announced. Quite a few people asked good questions, but the winner is, this is a very interesting question. As it is taught by our ancient scriptures, the physical world that we see and are living in is not real. It's an illusion. How should this be applied in daily life where actually it appears to be real? For instance, he's given examples of exams, performance at jobs, profit, etc. See, this is very interesting. The Gita tells us, all the scriptures tell us, the world is not for real, it's an illusion. Just as the dream is an illusion. But in our experience, it appears very real. So how should we implement this? What is the value of this is, it makes you objective. When you understand, if you even suspect that all this that I'm seeing could be exactly like the dream that I've experienced and I know to be unreal, then you become objective. You don't get involved in it. You don't suffer. You don't go through the stress. And this objectivity, sakshi bhava, is what we need to experience or put into practice. You may be in the thick of activity. If something in you holds back and says, like Shakespeare said, all the world is a stage and all men and women make players. You go through life exactly like an actor who plays his role in a play. How does an actor play his role? He puts himself into the role that he's playing, he does a lot of research, and he gives his best to the role. But never does he lose sight of the fact that I am the actor playing the role. Similarly, friends, we are all playing roles. You are the head of a family, maybe in your family. You are an employee in an organization. You are a citizen of the country. You play various roles. You could be a member of the cricket team. You're a member of the club, so on and so forth. In each role, you have a distinct role to play. Play your role to the best of your ability and get out when the time comes. Don't hang on. That is how you put this into practice. It's a beautiful question. And now there are a few announcements for you.
Mike, if you wish to know about our future programs, please fill in your details like the address, mobile number and email ID in the response card inserted in the blue brochure. Every year we bring new titles to add to your library. This year we have 2 additions: Relationships